Casey here for RetireCheap.Asia. We have one of our members today. You're going to sit and talk with us about a whole bunch of stuff, I hope. I brought you a little present.
Oh, wow.
I know you like coffee.
The famous
Ice
cafe,
mocha.
Cafe, yeah.
Yeah, ice mocha. I love these bags. Check out these custom-made bags for putting two coffees so you can carry them on a motorbike.
That's the first time I've seen that one.
They actually have two pockets. There's a thing,
they sealed it.
Yeah, sealed in the middle, so it becomes two pockets for coffee. So when you're carrying them on the motorbike, it makes it real convenient.
Only in Thailand.
Yeah. So anyway, here's to your health. All right, so tasty. Anyway, you're known to our members as Techno on our membership site. You contribute frequently on our online live chat, which is really great. It's really nice to, usually you reside where?
In Vancouver.
In Vancouver,
Canada.
But the interesting thing is, you've been a fan of Thailand for a long time, I know. How many times have you been here now?
This is since 2007, so my 6th year.
6th year, huh?
And I come over approximately 3 or 4 months at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually 4.
And I know that you're a diver. You enjoy the water.
Yeah,
so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
I have my dive master. I'm an assistant instructor for scuba diving.
Oh, really? You're assistant instructor. Very cool. Have you been up to Chiang Mai before?
I've been to Chiang Mai this is my 4th time now, to Chiang Mai.
Have you ever been here during this time of year?
No, this is the first time during this time of year. Usually it's February, March, and it's the smoky season, and I had to leave.
Yeah.
But this is actually, I'm really enjoying the weather.
Yeah, this is ideal for people watching, because they'll be watching this later and throughout time. And it's January 9th, I think, today. And one of the first things you said when you walked up was, "I see why you're up here, because of the weather."
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually in Waihin or Siam this time of the year, but I come up here this time, and the weather, no humidity, which is
low
great.
humidity,
and at night I sleep without air conditioning.
That's right.
And I mean, sometimes I even need a blanket.
Yeah, and for some place, if you look at on the map, we're about equal with like the Dominican Republic. It's latitude. I mean, we're pretty far. So you don't think of it because we talk about northern Thailand and stuff, but we're really far south latitude-wise. And to get this kind of cool weather is really nice because the rest of the year we have hot weather. And even in southern Thailand now, it's hot. In Bangkok is hot, but in the north we get this
the weather is. I mean, if it had beaches, I would be here tomorrow.
Yeah, well, if we had beaches,
I wouldn't be able to
we
stay.
wouldn't be able to stay here because it would be too crowded.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the flags right now, you can see they clock out of the north about end of October, November, and sometime in November. The wind starts to come out of China. And that's that cool, dry air out of China, and it'll stop. It'll just become still about halfway through February, and then that warm tropical air starts to push back in. But it takes about a month or so before we start getting a breeze from the south, and that's, of course, when we get that hot, dry, smoky season. It's hot and it's smoky because of preemptive burning of rice fields and all sorts of stuff. So, but this time of year is really, really nice. So, let me ask you something. How is your life back home, and why would you consider, I know because you're considering moving over here full time. Why would you do that?
I'm actually fed up with all the politics. Like, everything it's too complicated now. It's complicated. Like, everything is regulated to that. I mean, I'm paying 55% taxes. I mean, even though can't say anything bad. Canada is a great country. I mean, great medical system and all that, but we pay for it. Mm-hmm. We pay highly, dearly for it. But it's just coming overcrowded, too expensive. I mean, Vancouver is the most expensive city to live in Canada. Mm-hmm. I mean, it costs you $1 million to buy a home.
Wow. My father just shocked me. I was on the phone with him last weekend, and he was saying his insurance on his house went from $1,200, and he just got the bill, went from $1,200 to $3,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that about? I mean, he says, I can't afford to insure my home anymore.
No, people can't insure it, and the problem is if something happens, the house burns down, then you're completely out of luck, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, this is putting him in a really bad situation. You know, he's at the home is paid for, but if and I think what it is the insurance companies want everybody to pay for the claims that they're having to pay off in places where we have hurricanes and stuff. So everybody ends up paying.
They're not going to take the knock.
No, they're not going to take a hit. They still want that profit.
Right. I mean,
so whoever's going to pay for that profit,
it doesn't matter. I mean, that's why they're wealthy. That's why those countries, I mean, those
banking and insurance make.
That's why they're all incorporated together. I mean, that's the thing. And Vancouver is probably of all the cities in Canada, it's nice because we don't get no snow hardly. I mean, maybe I've been there 30 years, and maybe once a year, 2 times a year we get.
It's like the Pacific Northwest. It's humid, you know, you get the wet weather as opposed to the dry
Now, we have
weather.
great summers. I mean, I can't knock
Pacific Northwest of the U.S. is like Vancouver is gorgeous, gorgeous in the spring and summer.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, if I was there now, it'd probably be 120 days of straight rain.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not rain like an hour like in Phuket or 2 hours and it's gone. It'll rain continuously day and night.
Yeah, I know. I moved to Portland and I didn't have any idea. And being from Florida, it's like, you know, I loved the summer and then the fall was really nice and it started to rain. And after a few weeks, I asked somebody, you know, like, this is really weird if the rain's lasting this long. How long is it going to last? And they said, well, another 3 or 4 months, I think, you know. And I'm like, 3 or 4 months of this? I mean, that's like 5 months. I'm going, that's nuts. So I put my dog in a dog carrier, put her on a plane, and headed back to sunny Florida. But it is beautiful, and that's why it's so green and lush because of that rainfall.
Yes.
But there's definitely a time not to be there if you get depressed with rain. Now, I don't mind a rainy season down the islands because I know it's like that saying, "This too shall pass."
Yeah.
It's sort of a change from really hot weather because it gets overcast, it's breezy. Like when I did my videos at Koh Chang last year, it was really a nice change for me. I wouldn't want it to last, you know, real long, but it was really nice. I enjoyed it. But speaking of Koh Chang and around the water, if you move over, are you planning on moving? And if so, permanently or on a semi-permanent basis?
Right now, it's semi-permanent. It depends on my girlfriend, obviously. She's still in school in Shanghai. Hi, guy. Hopefully, if all my ducks line up in a row, I'm going to retire in November 2015. If not, it'll be November 2016. So right now, it's all on track to 2015.
And if that comes to fruition, does that mean you'd be here full time?
I'll probably come over October till probably May, and then go back. I'm originally from Newfoundland.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, my family still has like property in Newfoundland. I'll probably spend 3 or 4 months there. But I'm open for options because, I mean, I love Thailand. I mean, I even think about going down to Cambodia.
Yeah.
Cambodia seems like I've been there 5 years ago, so I heard it's changed a lot.
I hadn't been there for about 4 years. When I went back this time, I was pretty much shocked at the changes that are happening there. You know, it's progressing really quick.
Yes, I have a friend right now. Actually, he's down there, and he was there 5 years ago. He says it's a different country now.
Yeah,
he says he compares it to what Thailand was 20 years ago.
Yeah, all except for the poverty, maybe.
Yes.
And there's more of even though Cambodia is Buddhist because of the reign of the Khmer Rouge and stuff, it's
still
like
has a French influence. Though.
Yeah, and the French influence, which influences a few things, including food and stuff like that, which is a really nice thing.
But
Yeah.
that's another option. The thing is, when I retire, I'll retire on a pension, a full pension. So, I mean, I'm open for options.
You brought up a good point. The change is happening, and a lot of people have a retirement plan or a pack up and move plan that's a year or two out in the future. And this is why I try and always revisit places and keep people updated, because locations that are really nice in another year or two might not be, and vice versa. Some places that really might be a little too quiet now in 2 years could be a really great place to retire.
Well,
I notice that happened with Chiang Rai. It's a great place now to live. Before, you were off the beaten path, really. Not anymore. And I'm going to go do some videos here of another town which is close to Chiang Mai, which is now a really great place because it's so close to Chiang Mai, but now has a brand new mall, brand new public markets that they tore down and rebuilt them all really nice and everything. So there's a lot of changes going on, including other countries.
I mean, you have to change with the world. If you don't change with it, you fall behind, right? I mean, like where they announced that new train going from
the high-speed rail.
High-speed rail from Bangkok.
That's going to change things as well.
Yeah, it's going to change everything. But like you said, there's always an option. Like, I mean, if Chiang Mai gets too big, you go to Chiang Rai. If Chiang Rai gets too, you just keep moving.
And this is the argument, people ask me, because you can buy a condominium some places for less than $1 million baht. They can convert that into their own currency, but that's not a lot of money. And they say, well, should I buy or rent? It's probably a good investment to buy. And this is the thing I say. It might be good, and then if you didn't want to live there any longer, you could rent it out and have income coming in. But the thing about it is you sort of need to stay flexible just because of these changes. It's good to be able to pack up and move.
I think it depends on your situation. Like if you got a girlfriend, a Thai girlfriend, or if you're married and they have kids, they want stabilization. I mean, you don't blame them. I mean, you don't blame them. But for me, I mean, I'm a single guy with a girlfriend now, and I'm open for options, so I can just float around, right? But I think even, I mean, like you said, $1 million baht, which converts to Canada to about $33,000. I mean,
and your home's paid for.
Right, your home. I mean, and then you don't have, like, I mean, in my apartment, I was paying $400 maintenance fee every month.
Just for maintenance?
Just maintenance. I mean, I couldn't afford, I mean, I have a good income, but $400, I mean, you could live over here for $400, and you can live in a nice place.
There are people living here for $400.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's...
We had a couple of members at our member meeting that we have up here, and one of the members said he actually ran into a guy who was living here for that much money, and living a pretty good lifestyle.
Well, I was in Siam for a month, and I'm paying 6,800 baht for a one-bedroom, separate one-bedroom with a bathroom, a real bedroom, and a little dining room kind of thing, no kitchen, and it was 6,800 baht, so 3,680, so about $200 a month. And I was on short term. If I was on the long-term agreement, they'll give me for about 5,000 baht a month.
And so that was in Cham, you said?
Cham.
And so how far from the beach, so people get an idea of... So I'm going to be going down in at the end of February. I'm going to do my beach thing like I did last year with I went to Koh Chang last year and then went to Sihanoukville in Cambodia. But Cham is on my list for this year as one of the beach places I want to go show people about moving to live. So for that much money, you got a one-bedroom apartment. How long did it take you, either by motorbike or walking, to get to the actual
Well, I was
beach?
in a 17-story apartment building, which is a rent or own. They have apartments in there for as low as 600,000 baht to buy, up to 7 million baht.
Wow.
People buy 4 or 5 apartments. It's an older building, but they convert them into a... And I was literally no farther than the temple.
Wow.
I could look out every morning and see the water.
Wow.
And I was less than... Oh, I tell you how close I was. When I need to go to the washroom, I was sitting on the beach, I would just walk back to my room.
Oh, really?
So I was less
You wouldn't even use the bathroom downstairs?
No.
Go up to your room?
Yeah.
Okay, well now because you have friends in Hua Hin as well,
Yes.
And so you spend time visiting your friends and stuff there. Let's compare a couple things because I'm going to do all this later in the year. But why I have you here, and because you're knowledgeable about this, let's compare Hua Hin and Cha'am because they're not that far apart in distance. They're about 20
minutes
by
car.
By car,
about 30 minutes by motorbike.
Okay, and so 30 minutes away from each other, and they're both on the beach.
And about 2.5, Hawaii Hin's about 2.5 hours from Bangkok.
2.5 hours from Bangkok. Okay. So let's compare to get to rent that same thing that you have now with a view of the water in Hua Hin. What do you think it would cost?
Well, for one thing, it'd be hard to get a view of the water in Hawaii Hin because all the conglomerate hotels have the water.
The beachfront property.
From the Marriott to the Hilton to the Intercontinental to the King's Palace.
Yeah.
They're all on the water.
Okay, and so let's talk about that for just a second because one of the major differences is when you go into Cha'am, you have the road, you have a boardwalk, and then water.
Yes, you have the beach. Then you have about probably 3 kilometers of roadway, and then across the roadway are all the either hotels or little stands and all that, and then apartments.
And between the beach and the road, is there a sidewalk, a boardwalk?
Yes, there is a boardwalk.
Yeah, okay.
Just like the boardwalk in California.
Okay.
It's no different.
And so you have full access to the beach. You can see the beach as you go down the road, but Hua Hin's not like that.
No, Hua Hin you have to go hunting to get to the beach.
You got to get these little beach accesses
yes,
that go between the hotels.
They're alleyways, and you have to go between the alleys to find the beach. Sand. Now, because I'm not sure 100%, but don't think it's legal to own beach in Thailand. So the hotels will let you go through their lobby. I mean, they don't like it, but to go to access the beach.
Or if you access it from these little beach access roads they have in between the buildings, you're allowed to go on the beach.
Yes, you're allowed.
So you could walk up and down the
beach.
beach.
Because they can't stop you from walking. Only place they can stop you is where the King's Palace is. That's it.
How about once you're on the beach? Some places like Pattaya and a few others, they have beach chairs and umbrellas and stuff where you can go rent it for 40 baht. You sit there and then you can eat and they bring you food or coconuts or beer or whatever. Is either one of those beaches set up like that?
Hua Hin is not because it's all hotel waterfront.
They don't want people sitting on their beach.
They don't want people sitting on the beach. They have chairs out there, but it says for members only.
For people that are staying in their hotel.
Staying in a hotel. I mean, where I go to, there's a Intercontinental, and it's called Seaview, I think it's called, or Secret, and the little alleyway. And when you get down there, there's a few little chairs in a massage place set up on the beach, and that was the only access. Siam, completely different. Siam, the beach is filled with umbrellas. You pay 30 baht, and you rent it for a whole day, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. And they come down. The nice thing too in Siam is all these little servers that have the little carts on the side of the road will come down and serve you food, dang mo, which is watermelon, everything in Hawaii. They don't. There's no access for them.
How about foreigners and versus Thai people? The population in both of these two.
In Hawaii Hin is a lot of foreigners, a lot of Norwegian, UK people. Not many. It's more catered to the foreign. Like Siam is where Thai people go on the weekend. On the weekend, you cannot get a place on the beach in Siam. It's just packed with Thai people, families. The beach would be filled with families. A matter of fact,
all swimming in their clothes.
All swimming in full clothing, like
blue jeans
and everything, t-shirts, everything. And actually, on the weekend, it's a little harder to even get because they won't rent me one chair.
Well, because they want to rent the whole.
They want to rent all 12 of them, right? So I have to go a little bit farther out towards the water. They want to stay in about where they're shaded.
Yeah.
So they put me.
Don't want sun.
They don't want sun. So they put me in front of them and then give me one umbrella and charge me 35 baht or 30 baht, right? And
how about cost of food and comparing the cost of food in two different places?
Well, Hawaii Hin has more restaurants. Obviously, it's a lot fancier. It's
more restaurants or more restaurants for foreigners?
More restaurants for foreigners.
Okay.
It's catered to the Frang, what I call, and I would say the more, I guess, the more wealthier people live in Hawaii Hin, because I mean. It's more expensive, it's more developed, they have a great hospital, we've got 3 hospitals there actually, and it's very, very clean. It's where the King's Palace there, and they keep it really clean. The nice thing about Siam though, every Wednesday they take all the umbrellas off and they do their way of cleaning the beach, right? So yeah, they clean the beach every Wednesday. So, but
you guys are gonna sleep behind this.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean,
so which do you prefer, and why?
Well, I was going to go back when I'm going back to Hawaii to Siam here in February 2nd. I was going to go back to Hawaii Hin, but I have my friends are coming up and they're going to Siam, and I asked them, why are you going to Siam? He says, because, well, it's cheaper. I mean, for the same apartment that he has in Siam, he's paying 10,000 baht a month, which is a beautiful, I mean, honestly, it's 10 times better than my place that I have in Vancouver. And he's paying 10,000 baht a month.
Wow.
And he has 2 bedrooms.
Wow.
And it's one of those ones in the same building where they converted it, and a Chinese lady from Bangkok owns it, and he loves it so much. He's there 7 months a year, and he rents it for the whole year.
Wow.
So no one else will get it. But I mean, but in Bangkok now, if he was in Hawaii Hin, he'd probably pay about 20,000 baht for that.
Okay. How about shopping?
Well,
if you're a foreigner and you're living in both of those places, we talked about food, but what about shopping? Places where other foreigners go? Obviously. Hua Hin, because they're not the foreigners that are living there, the expats, they're not hanging out at the beach under the umbrellas.
No, they have.
Where do they congregate?
They have
bars or what?
No, they have those night markets, right? Like in Siam now, they had a night market every Wednesday night, and the Scandinavian people, no word of a lie, they would have 1,000 of them.
Wow, all come together on Wednesday nights.
All Wednesday night.
Oh, cool.
And
they know where to go see each other.
Right, and they have like Rossford and all the stuff from Scandinavia.
Really?
And they buy it, and you go there and you cannot see it. Only Thai people or Thai wives, and people serving, and it's just like lined up with. Oh my God! I thought I was in the UK, then or European.
Yeah,
but they shop because now Siam is growing. They got like a Tesco's, what's it called? Morco Foods, I think.
Macro,
which
the
is a
wholesale,
division of Costco, which is like Costco.
Yeah. So
that's
wholesale.
all in between Hawaii Hin and.
So it's about halfway between each one.
Yes,
so neither one's
right.
got an
They even have
advantage.
an index, which is a
furniture shop.
Furniture shop like IKEA, and that's in between. So the people from
all those are in between.
All in between.
So there's no benefit for that kind of stuff being in one place or the other.
No, right. Even when you go past. So there's no path. Like there's not even. If only reason you would go into Hawaii Hin is to go into the nightlife, because you don't even need to go into the shopping.
Okay, let's talk about nightlife.
Nightlife is.
Hey, you want to be interviewed? Are you a Farang cat or a Thai cat?
He looks too good.
พูดภาษาไทยได้ไหม?
Too well groomed to be.
So nightlife.
The nightlife, obviously, nightlife is bigger in Hawaii Hin because the amount of people there, the bars there's more bars, and plus they have they have a part of the beach area for their bars and the restaurants. They have the seafood restaurants right on the beach, like the big seafood restaurants.
Yeah, real cheap, I'm sure.
No, not as cheap as, well, I mean...
I'm being facetious.
Yeah. Like, for example, if you go get a bowl of soup in Siam, probably costs you around 25, 30 baht. In Hawaii, you're looking at around 45, 50 baht.
Just for Thai noodle soup,
Thai
basically.
noodle soup. Well, I usually have rice with gai. It's called
khao man gai.
Khao man gai. And I have that almost every day. And I can see the difference. Like, I go to Siam, right on the beach. They deliver it to you there. I'll pay 35 baht. I go to Hawaii, pay 45, 50 baht for it. And I go to Phuket, I pay 80 baht.
So why do people live in Hua Hin? Now, it's very popular there. Because why would they be there if it's so much more expensive and you can't hang out at the beach and stuff?
The structure up there, I think, because it's more, they have a mall there, a big mall called the Village, the Village Center. It's more
upscale.
It's more upscale. Yeah, it's really more upscale. And it's almost like they never left their country, practically, other than the weather. And you got to give Hawaii and Siam credit is that according to the forecast, they get the least amount of rain of anywhere in Thailand.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, it can get pretty hot.
Yeah.
It can get really hot. Like when I was there in November, it was 34 degrees. And if you weren't by the beach in the wind, then it would be too hot.
That really goes for, like I said, the latitude. We're pretty far south when you compare other countries,
yes.
You know, especially in the Caribbean. You go to almost any of these beach communities and it's hot. You really need to be on the beach with a sea breeze, because if you're not, it's hot and humid. In any of them, it doesn't really matter which one you're at.
Well, in my hotel in Siam, I was on the 10th floor. I opened the window. My window is probably this size. And I had to literally hold the door so the wind wouldn't just, when you hear every night crack, crack, the doors were hitting so hard. And the wind just howls through there. I mean,
wow,
it's
nice.
Just, yeah, and it's
well,
bearable.
Stay tuned, viewers, because you're going to be seeing these live and in person, because I'll be out of here soon and be heading down there, and we'll be shooting videos about all these things that you're talking about. So tell me, sort of as a wrap-up, what attracts you to Thailand as opposed to all these other Southeast Asian countries or places that you visited? There's a lot of diving and great places around the world and stuff where you could go diving every day. Why here? What's the attraction?
People.
What about the people?
They're friendly. I mean, you go to Bangkok, there's 11 million people. 11 million. There's no one cranking their horns. No one giving you the bird. No one, I mean, everyone cutting each other off. And it's just calm, cool, collective. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm from Vancouver, and if you cut someone off, they're yelling at you, you got a window down, they're giving you the bird. I mean,
this happened to me last time I was back home.
And it's not.
And I gave the person half a block.
You know what? I gotta say one thing too to the viewers is Thailand is not for everyone. You have to be
some flexibility.
You have to have a lot of flexibility.
Why?
Patience. You have to have patience, because, like I was telling you when I first met you, we rented a tour bus to go to Krabi, and there's 15 people on this tour bus, and the driver. Now, this is the middle of the night, and we have to catch a ferry. The driver picks up his friend, drives him to the bank, gets some money out, and brings him back. With all of us in there, no consideration for us at all. And, you have to be, but it's in Thailand.
But weren't you happy to help his friend out as well?
Yeah, but they have, and there's no schedule.
But I said that in one way just to be facetious, but really that is the attitude that you got to have. He's doing it to help his friend.
Yes.
And so Thai people won't say anything because they understand he's helping his friend, and that's cool. And, you know, it's like I was talking, you were just talking about, Bangkok and no horns and stuff like that. When I hear the horns, like up in Chiang Mai and places I travel, if it's not a tuk-tuk or a song tao, which are public transportation, trying to get the attention of somebody by, that short little burst of the horn to get their attention to try and get a fare, the average motorist doesn't honk their horn.
No, they'll only
But
honk.
what's interesting is that when I hear the horn, like an angry horn,
Yeah.
I can look and it's a foreigner honking a horn. And what is interesting about this is that we've come to this thing about this is my space and you're invading my space or my rules.
Yes.
And I want to pull up next to them and say, look, you know, the person pulled out, you were coming down the road on a two lanes going your way, and because they pulled into your lane, you honked because that was your lane. But that person wouldn't have pulled out, now this is a generalization, but 90% of it is true. They see that you don't have anybody next to you in the lane next to you and think, well, you're just going to move over to that other lane while he takes this one. Why wouldn't you do that? The question is, why wouldn't you just move over? As a foreigner, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you stay in the lane where he's pulling in and honk your horn as opposed to move into the lane where there's nobody next to you? And see, this is the operating principles they're working off of that people get frustrated with. But it makes common sense, doesn't it? Why wouldn't you just move over?
Well, they think it's their right. That's all it is. I think it's arrogant. That's all it is. I mean, here, the people are just, they're so accommodating. They're just...
I think about this, and I used to, when I first came here, I was guilty of this. I wanted to teach him and show him, hey, you invaded my space. This is, I got the right of way, all these rules that we come with.
You'll go crazy.
You will. You'll go crazy. Exactly. But now I realize it's like, well, why wouldn't I move over there? What would stop me from just moving over and letting that person pull out because they need to pull out and there's nobody here? That's not a big effort just to move over a little into this lane where there's no traffic. In the lane, we're both going the same way. I'm not talking about coming in or non-coming. And the only thing I can think of is our ego getting in the way of doing that.
I agree. And it's the way we were brought up, right? Like, I mean, America or North America love their cars. They love being in the car. But, I mean, when you're in Thailand, you have to go with the flow. I mean, I take the bus from Siam to Bangkok. It's 160 baht. That's all it costs. I mean, it's full, and they drive like race cars, but I mean, they're just like, and I still don't understand why they don't, like, we go there, and every time we go there, we stop and fuel up for gas. Right in the middle.
Why wouldn't they stop?
Why wouldn't they do it before they pick me up?
And if it's a van, like these minivans...
They're propane, actually.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm going to mention to you, and I didn't realize this till I got a diesel vehicle. A lot of vehicles run off natural gas and stuff here. If you have a total gas car, you know, or here they call it like benzene, but if it's propelled by gasoline, you can put natural gas and you can run it off that, and it runs a long time. It's efficient. It's people are going to argue with me about whether it's better for the environment, but it's clean burning more or less, and so it's very efficient. If you have a diesel vehicle, which these vans are, you have to mix the diesel and the gas, and you don't get very good. You get hardly any benefit from doing
flex
this.
fuel.
Yeah, but you burn through the fuel so quickly because you don't carry that much and you're burning it that you have to stop halfway through your trip to re-up the diesel. You don't, but the gas itself, yeah. And I couldn't understand this because I said every time I was going, why are they stopping? Why didn't they fill it? Right. But they filled it up, but they run out that quick.
Oh,
because it's a mixture of diesel and.
I thought he was just screwing with me.
It's like I noticed this too. And it also gives an opportunity for people to get out and use the bathroom and stuff. But
I mean, but it's only it's less than a 2-hour trip from.
That's right.
With those guys driving. I mean, 2.5 hours normal.
I noticed this going to Koh Chang. It was like almost a 3.5-hour trip or something, and they would stop every time about halfway and get fuel. I'm thinking, well, I can see him stop and we just jump out and use the bathroom and stuff. Why does he get fuel? And then when I got diesel, I talked to the guy who sold me the vehicle, my Ripper Mobile, and said about converting this thing, and he explained this to me. He goes, you can't just run off of it. You're going to have to stop more often to get this fuel and stuff. And I'm going, well, what good is that? Yeah, exactly. That was it. I said, well, diesel's cheap here, and it goes a long way.
Their fleet, like they have so many.
And that's why you'll see these big trucks. Like
with all the propane
all
tanks.
The tanks.
Yes,
they have to have all those tanks to get anywhere. So I don't know. You know, it's one of those things.
No, another thing why, I mean, the people is number one, the Buddhist culture. They're so relaxed. And the regulations, there's no regulation. Like, you see all these carts on the side of the road. You see a guy on a motorbike carrying 2 propane tanks, and you'll go to a restaurant and they have a propane tank with a rubber hose hooked to it. And like, I mean, in my country, it would have to be copper.
Yeah, it's very strict.
And inspectors would have that shut down.
When I was looking at converting my van to the Ripper Mobile and putting stuff in there as for cooking and all this stuff, and I was looking and I ran across videos of people in the UK and stuff that want to create a motorhome. And boy, the regulations, if you're going to put fuel in the motor, it's got to be, the box that the tank's in has to be vented. It's got to have, it's really strictly regulated.
You can't have a propane tank in your home.
Really? It's got to be outside.
And you can't even have a propane car parked on the ground. It has to be, like you can't pull underground parking.
Yeah.
My apartment I pull underground, there can't be no propane. There can't be no propane inside the building. Like here they put propane underneath the culvert to run the stove.
Mine's right next to my stove.
Right. I mean, but there's no way.
It's easy to roll it in and out that
way. Right. It's easy to roll it in and out that way. I mean, like, and a matter of fact, in Canada, even to fill up propane, it has to be a certain miles from the city, because when they vent it, right? And I mean, here, it's next to your house. I mean, that's the good thing about it. I mean, it's.
And then people say, well, that's not safe, and that's not. But you know
what?
It's
for the amount of people here, it's safe. I think we're over safe.
Well, yeah, this is one of the things I wanted to mention has happened in the West, is the overregulation has come from trying to protect the people, where if one person, there's a problem one time or 2 times, everybody has to conform.
Yes.
And this is where the problem's lying.
Yes.
It wasn't like, you know, they looked at it, the lawmakers are there to make laws, so they keep making, we need anti-lawmakers that go in and start saying, okay, we got enough rules and regulations, it's really stifling the economy, it's stifling people, it's stifling the happiness of people. We need to start looking at these laws, re-evaluating what the intention of the law was, and do we actually need it? Sure, you're not going to prevent every accident from happening, no matter how much regulation. But when you overregulate, it creates a lot of challenges for people to do a lot of different
I think we had to restart, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean,
wipe
North
the slate
America,
clean
yes,
and
it has to
start over, and let's not make the same mistakes again.
Well, humans always make the same mistakes. That's what called being human. But no, no, Thailand is good. I have a little problem with the internet, but other than that, I mean, because I'm a techie, but I can make it work. I mean, I'm fortunate. I have a good pension, so I'm a Category 3. So
And for people who don't know, Categories 1 between $500 and $750 a month. Category 2, $750 to $1,000, and over $1,000 U.S. monthly spendable income is Category 3. So that gives you a lot more options to work with. It gives you more flexibility. But could you, if you had to be in Category 1 between $500 and $750, from your opinion, and you've been here so many times, could you live off that?
Yes.
Boy, you didn't even hesitate.
Because
Cowman guy every day.
Yeah.
On the beach.
On the beach.
You can eat chicken and rice on the beach every day and you still fall within that budget.
I mean, I'm not a fair person to ask that because I'm here on holiday all the time.
It's a lot different
and
than
my
living
budget
here.
is...
Yeah, you save up for this.
My budget is
you can play.
$10,000.
Yeah, you can play.
I mean, it's just way above. But when I'm in Cheyenne for a month and life settles in...
Are you the one that said you brought a certain amount of money for the budget and haven't hit it? You were so far below...
No, that was the other guy.
Oh, the other guy. Yeah, he says he brought a certain amount and he budgeted and he can't spend it.
No. And if you're in holiday mode, it's completely different.
Sure it is.
I mean...
You're doing things...
Right, I've been here 2 months. I've been on a plane 8 times.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I mean, that's not
Category
normal.
1 stuff.
That's not a Category 1 stuff. But when I'm in Cheyenne for a whole month, I mean, I spend maybe 200 baht a day on eating, and that's a good...
Is that you or you and your girlfriend?
Me and my girlfriend.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, that's $6 Canadian. I mean,
pretty cool, huh?
And that's a good thing. But when you're on a holiday mode, you don't... Everything changes, right? But when I was there for a month, you get into... You have to have a routine, or you go crazy.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know how these guys.
You got to have something, a hobby or something to occupy and keep your mind active and stuff. To come over and to retire on a bar stool is not my idea of a good suggestion. They should,
it'll get boring after a while. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I mean, when my girlfriend's not around, I get bored. I mean, I get bored quick, but you get into a routine. You go to a certain coffee shop every morning. You do your 2-kilometer or 3-kilometer walk along the beach. You sit with your iPad on the beach for 4 or 5 hours, watch the surf and stuff like that, right? And you get into the routine and then find something to do, right? Or go to
I know I'm probably going to get questions. Why didn't you ask him what his challenges were with the internet? And I can answer that because we talked about this and because we're running out of memory here and stuff, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But for people that were wondering what was his challenge with the internet, it's because over here, we have 3G now, and the plans and the carriers, the phone carriers that are offering it, do not want the 3G connection to be a primary internet connection for people. It's for mobile devices, which are now becoming primary devices, so they're going to have to address this. But what it is they'll give you the normal 3G speeds up to a certain, like 5 gigabytes, or you found one that's 7 gigabytes, and so they'll limit you at that point. They throttle it back.
Throttle you back to 1.8.
Yeah, they say it's like edge technology, but it's fairly slow compared to 3G. You will notice a difference. So there's ways around that. There's things you can do. But basically, that was the challenge. If somebody's really eating up a lot of bandwidth, watching videos or uploading videos and stuff like that, that's when the challenge comes in. So anyway, but Todd, I want to thank you for your interview. Thank you for being a member of our site.
Yeah,
thank you for.
I think I was one of the first among the first.
You've been one of the first ones. That's right.
Yeah, I think it was number 3 or something to sign up the day you.
And guess what? Yesterday, YouTube. I hit 1 million views.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
That's
yeah. Thanks to viewers like people watching right now. It's really amazing.
Everyone, like they say, oh well, Thailand. I says, well, you know what? You can never give it words.
And again, you just said it a little while ago. It's not for everybody. It's not utopia. It's an option.
It's an option.
And so it just happens to be where I live, and so this is my focus. And I love Southeast Asia. I love the differences between these different countries. And I was married to a Brazilian. I've traveled the Caribbean. Delivered boats. Had businesses in Latin America, Central America. And, I know all that, and I love it. I love the Latin culture as well. But it's like the yin and the yang.
Yes.
Of the worlds. One's very expressive, one's reserved, And for me, living every day of my life, I'd rather be in a place that's a little more reserved.
And like you said, the cost is so... Like, yesterday, I went and got my hair cut, got shaved, my ears trimmed and my nose trimmed, and a straight blade shave where they used to, like back in old Western days. The whole thing for 140 baht.
140 baht. I got one for you. These microphones that people see me, usually see this little blue glow hanging on me. It's a Bluetooth microphone, and it's made by a Sony company. And a few days ago, this is why there hasn't been many videos going up lately, I went to turn the switch on and off, and the switch was broken on one of them. And these they don't sell here in Thailand. So I went to the Sony repair facility and showed it to them, and they're like, nah, I don't think we can help you out with that thing, It's like, and I said, but you don't sell them here. I said, maybe I can wire the switch on all the time, just take the battery in and out to make it work. So I said, can you open it? Just open it. And he says, it's okay if I wire it so it's always on. And I said, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it, That'll work just as long as I got it. So he says, okay, come back tomorrow. So I went back the next day, which was actually yesterday, and they said, we fixed it. Once we opened it up, we found we could just repair the switch. And I said, oh, cool, man, this is great. I said, how much I owe you? And then before I left it there, they said, well, the minimum fee was like 290 baht or something. So I said, well, how much? And they go, 290 baht. So less than $10. I got it all fixed.
In Canada, they charge you $60.
Just to look at it. Yeah, just to look at it and tell you how much it's going to cost.
And then they'll put it towards the bill if you go to pay for it.
Yeah. And so people have gone into camera shops with cameras and they've done work on them and stuff, and then they ask them, well, how much? And they go, nothing, it's okay. Yeah. And it's not, these people need money, and they are opportunistic to try and, find ways to make money. But they
make it work.
They make it work, and they're not out to, from the most part, to try and gouge you And now this is a generalization. You know, if you're with Thai people in Thai areas, it's going to be like that. If you're in touristy areas, a lot of people go there just to extract more money. They see it as an opportunity to get more money from people that have more money.
I mean, I have a Thai driver's license now and a Thai bank account, and like I go to the park, instead of paying 100 baht, I show my Thai driver's license, I get it in for 30 baht. I get Thai prices.
That's right.
But I mean, in general, I mean, they may charge you 100 baht more, but it's just $3. I mean,
yeah, in the scheme of things,
I mean, they're all trying to make a living. I mean, sure.
My restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in Chiang Mai, she informed me that next week the prices are going up. And I pay a little more for this place only because they make the food for foreigners, which means it has a little more vegetables in it, you know, because they're aware that foreigners are more concerned about getting the amount of vegetables and stuff. There's a little more vegetables. It's probably 30% more than Thai prices, but there's more vegetables, healthier food. And she said the price is going to go up. And so I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is, you know, instead of it being, you know, like 50 baht or 60 baht, it might be 70 baht, you know, and percentage-wise, it might be a pretty big jump. But for you, when we look at it, and people said that before, well, what's going to happen if prices go up? And for Thai people, it's going to affect them. But this is a foreigner restaurant, basically, that serves Thai food. So for us, if the price goes up, you know, 10 or 15%, which sounds like a lot, it still really isn't that much.
No, not in the big picture. I mean, if you're probably scraping on a Category 1 budget, I mean, you could always find another restaurant. Correct?
Well, your room, 6,800, you said in Cha'am?
Yeah, that's because it's short term.
Yeah, but what happens if it went up 10%? That's another what? 600 baht, $20.
Right, $20. Yeah,
yeah, well, our battery ran out on the camera, so I'm just going to pick this up to wrap. Yeah, we were just talking about, I know where the camera actually cut out, didn't give me an indication, but we were talking about the difference of, you know, what you can collect and what your options are as far as how far it would go back home. And we were talking about heating bills, that your heating bill you pay for your father.
$660 a month.
$660 a month. So if somebody's only pulling in $700 or $800, they wouldn't be able to get by, you know, and actually have any heat, you know. They wouldn't be able to afford heat. They would they'd freeze to death. And one of our, a great member we have that's living in Sweden that's thinking about coming over, she was saying that her bill runs almost about that much in Sweden as well, just to heat the place during the winter.
Because we have no natural gas.
So when you come to a fixed limited income, I mean, you know, that's going to be a big chunk of it, and luckily we don't need that. And even if we run air over here, in the north, you don't have to run it 24 hours because our nights are fairly
even
cool
running
anyway.
air, I mean, in Siam I ran air every single night, for 1 month, and my bill was 1,270 baht.
Wow, cool.
Every single night. And I kept it at 21 degrees.
Well, 21?
Yeah.
You think you're still in Newfoundland?
Yes, I know. And I actually had to go buy a duvet because I'm so used to
Yeah, well, your girlfriend's going to be in a park, a snow park.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, thanks again.
Yeah,
I want to go ahead and wrap this up before we die off again here with the battery. But it's great to finally get a chance to meet you, hang out, have a coffee, and we're going to keep in touch.
Wants to know anything, give me a call.
Yeah, if the members now get a chance to see who you are, and they'll be probably back in touch with you as well through the member site. So again, thanks a lot for you all when it comes to finding places to live in Thailand or going to do undersea adventures even. Remember, what?
There's always an option.
JC out. Take care. See you soon.